Okay, in this video I'm going to introduce you to the platform editor for Exhumed. Just load it up, straight from the folder that it's in. Yeah, you agreed with two screens here. This is the main editor screen that represents the game. This is the toolbox. First thing I'll show you is how you actually draw ground that the player will actually walk on. So you click these tools here, then you can click two places draws a line, third place, and fourth place, and then you right click to form a solid shape, and the players will now collide with that. You can test that with a tennis ball. So left click, place that. You can see it lands on the ground, and then if you click test game, you can actually try it in the actual game itself. And you can see here you have a character that landed correctly on the ground without falling through it, and can walk along and jump as you'd expect. And I'm using Xbox controls to control this. I press back button to quit out of it. Okay, so here in the toolbox there's layers here, and you can click this to add extra layers. So I'll add an extra layer that goes. So I'm trying to remember which way around these go. I think that will draw it behind. Yeah, that's right. The top layer is the furthest ahead, so this will go behind it. Change the parallax coefficient here to say 0.75. That means it will appear to be further away from the player. Click OK, and now I can change that to make that one an active one and place scenery in it. So we can go to the background editor, and that shows you what's in this background. At the moment there's nothing. But first what I'll do is select the other layer and delete that background from there. Okay, so here there's a texture browser that shows you all the text while to load, but it is currently textures that are currently loaded. And let's say we don't want any of these, so we'll load another one. That opens this dialog box. You can find any pictures you want. I'll try and find something that isn't too embarrassing. Let's see. Okay, let's have this one. Maybe that is quite embarrassing. You get to see what I look like. Okay, so click Add Current Layer, and we'll place that in there. And if we go back to the background editor, we can now change the position manually. So just shift that across a bit. We can rotate it. Now, the thing to note with 2D backgrounds is that it only uses the Z axis for rotation. So if I change that, see that rotates, and it rotates around the top corner. I might change that later, so it rotates around the centre. And see, if you change the other ones, it will just ignore it and put it back to 0. And we can scale it as well. Maybe make that slightly smaller. Okay. And you can use the Xbox controller, the left thumbstick, to move around the screen. As you can see, or maybe I put that in the wrong layer. Yes, I did. Oops. Okay, let's go back to the background editor and take this back out. Okay, let's add it to the right layer this time. See, the default layer is selected. Let's add that to current layer. And now you can see if you move it with the left analog stick, you can see it moves at a different speed to to the platform and test that, make sure it works in the game. Yep, it does. And what we can also do is place scenery button. Make sure you've got the one you want selected in the background editor. And now I can place it manually by clicking the mouse. Now you'll see it doesn't place it exactly where you want. That's because the parallax coefficient isn't 1. I think I'll try and fix that to make it better later, but for now it's kind of usable. Yeah, we can also place 3D objects. So go to the model browser. You can load model in the same way as the textures. So let's put. See, the dude one doesn't display because it's animated, but it doesn't crash it anymore, so that's a bonus. Yeah, let's stick a duck in there. Yep, add that to the current layer. Oh dear. Oh, no, it's still there. And so we now have this duck. We can't see it because its scale is very small, so increase that 100. And you can see it's up there in the top corner. So let's use this place scenery to move it down somewhere. Let's make it a bit bigger again. There we go, nice big duck. And for this rotation, we can change it on all 3 axes. Get a side view of the duck there. You see that is also in the background layer, so it moves with the picture that I've put there. Let's test that. And you see everything's there as you'd expect, but we have a clipping from there, which I will fix. And also, okay, more advanced things with the ground. Select ground means you can select a big chunk of ground, delete it if you want. Okay, those test balls are just going to fall into oblivion. Okay, so we can draw some more ground. It's best to draw nice big sections of ground because otherwise they fall through them. Yep, that's all working nicely. And yes, we can now save this level. Okay, then just to show you that it will actually load, I'll just create new, which I haven't implemented yet. That's another thing to do. As you can see, this is a daily work in progress. Okay, well I'll just load this other level that's here. Oh dear. Okay, that level was from an older version that's not compatible, I think. Anyway, this will demonstrate that yes, you can actually test 2 on this version, so that should work. And there you go. All working as you'd expect. So that's all the basic features for now. I think my next step is need a way to place player starts. I think I'll do that in a similar way to the Unreal editor, where you have a sort of a list of different objects and put it into the game. So also that list be eggs or something like that, but that's something to think about later. Yeah, so that's it for now, and I'll try and sort out the issues that came up during this, and hopefully add some more features. Okay, thanks.